For this, I got a brand new project for you. You'll find it attached to this lecture. Simply download it, extract the folder, and store that folder anywhere on your system as you did it many times before, and you'll notice one important thing. This is a project which I created for you with the VII CLI. So therefore here you don't need to create it on your own, you can just use this attached one. It is a project which I created with VII Create though. I'm attaching it so that we're all using the same project setup. Now in here, you'll notice something interesting. The source folder is pretty empty. There's just a main.js file in there with not a lot of content. So therefore here, I got no Vue code, no Vue app, and no Vue components in there. And I'm doing this on purpose so that we can get started with that together and you'll learn step by step how to write Vue code and how to add Vue components in a brand new Vue project like this one. Besides that, we got the public folder with the index.html file, which I already explained in the last module. Now to get started writing code, there are two things which we need to do first. The first one is that we install all the dependencies of this project. So the dependencies mentioned in the package.json file, these dependencies and also the development dependencies. Because the attached folder, the attached zip file, has no node modules folder. Not because I forgot it, but because it's super big and the zip file would be multiple hundred megabytes big if I would have added it. That's too big and there is no need to add it because all you need to do is run npm install inside of that project folder. And here's the easiest way of doing that. In Visual Studio Code, in which you should open this attached folder, go to Terminal, New Terminal. And this will open up your default system terminal, your default system command prompt here as part of Visual Studio Code. The advantage is that you don't have to switch to a different screen and, even better, that you're already navigated into this folder. So you don't need to use the cd command to navigate somewhere else. Instead, this terminal already is navigated into this project folder. And therefore, in this terminal, you should now run npm install to install all the dependencies of this project. And whenever you're downloading one of my code snapshots, which you will find throughout the course, you should also run this command if you want to run my code, because all code snapshots attached to any lecture will be missing the node modules folder. So hit enter, and this will now download all the required dependencies and also the dependencies of dependencies, and it will generate this node modules folder and store all the dependencies in there. So let's wait for this process to finish. And once it is finished, we got the node modules folder and we're now ready to get started running our development server. By the way, you can ignore that this file changed the color here. That's just because I'm using Git, a version control system as well, but you don't need to use that, so you can ignore that. So as a next step, let's now run npm run serve. This will start this development script, which spins up the development server. And I'm doing this in the same terminal which I used for running npm install, so that I do it in this project folder, which is where you should run this command. And now we got that development server up and running, and we should keep it up and running, as mentioned before, as long as we're writing code. This ensures that any changes will be picked up and we can see them on the served page. And the served page will even reload automatically whenever we do change anything. So therefore, we'll keep this up and running, and I'll just shrink it a bit so that it doesn't take up as much space, but I will still have it around. Now we can visit localhost 8080, and that's our running Vue application. And as you can clearly see, initially it's empty. There's nothing here. And the reason for that simply is that, well, we don't have anything here. We just got this main.js file, which creates an empty Vue app without any configuration. Well, Now that we got all set up, let's dive into writing some component code and let's learn more about components.